Welcome to Sliver and Bite TV. Do you absolutely, at the end of the day, loathe having to get into the kitchen and actually cook something? I don't even feel like cooking sometimes, and I've got a cooking channel. So stick with me for the next few minutes and I'll teach you how to make 5-minute pho. Ah, you silly content creator. You can barely even warm the noodles in 5 minutes. So stick with me and learn how to make 15-minute pho. We still have all of the essentials. The reason why traditional pho takes so long is the broth. So we are expediting that and getting a store-bought broth. You want to make sure you get a decent one if you want to have a superior experience. Otherwise, you can go the bouillon cube or just a cheap generic brand and enhance it with some of the other aromats. This particular one is on the higher end, so we're talking roughly $12 for 4 cups, but it contains some of the ingredients that would otherwise be missing. In this particular one, it's got the ginger, the salt and star anise, along with cinnamon. So that ticks the box in regards to the long boil that you would usually have with a traditional pho. But also, here we have the Chinese 5-spice, which is going to round out the flavor profile, and that has clove, fennel, and again, some cinnamon and star anise. So it will amplify the taste. So let's get going. We are going to pour in our beef stock. And the aim is here to have as few dishes as possible. I am going to add in the Chinese 5-spice and fish sauce. Ordinarily, you could just add in the spices and fish sauce straight from the jar. I'm purely making it pretty for the channel. So just mixing those spices through to make sure that we hydrate them. Now, as for the broth, that is done. The rest of the items on the board are garnishes and the protein. So what I'm going to do is chop up some of the garnishes now. Love some fresh chili. Some green onion, some spring onion. Now what I'll do is have this off to the side for the garnish, and I'm actually going to put some of the white and beginning of the green into the broth. We can simmer that alongside. That will help with the taste. Now some onion. You could use a mandolay for this, however, in the effort to have as few dishes as possible, I will use the same knife I will chop the meat with. Now you want to have the stock simmering for a good 5-10 minutes just to ensure you are cooking some of that onion through it and also hydrating the Chinese 5-spice. These onions, you want them as thin as possible. And if you want to check out the long form video for traditional pho, head to sliverandbite.com.au and you can learn how to make the broth. It truly is out of this world. I learned how to make it in Vietnam on a recent trip. Okay. I have fresh rice noodles here because I will put that into the broth and that will assist in making the noodles more flavorful. I have rinsed out the measuring jug that I had the broth in, and I'm putting the onions in there. That will assist in taking that sharpness out before adding it into the broth. And now we can thinly slice our meat. You want to make sure that you've got a piece of meat that is nice and lean. Any fat and gristle you can just remove. And again, nice and thin. This is going into the warmed beef broth. And the thinner, the easier for it to cook. If you do check out the traditional pho recipe, you can freeze batches of the broth, and then you can just bring that back to life at a later date with your trimmings, and there you go. An instant meal, because this is super easy to prepare if you're just chopping a few ingredients. Okay, now that the broth has been on for approximately 5 minutes, I'm going to add the noodles so that they can loosen up. Starting to get some larger bits of fat at the bottom, so just going across it. And lastly, going to chop up the lemon, because pho is amazing with a squeeze of lemon. Now you want to be careful with the pre-soaked rice noodles. They can break quite easily, so you just want to let it come apart by itself and with the bubbles. Okay, we now have everything we need. We have our protein, our beef, our garnishes, the onion, we've got our coriander and our mint ready to go in, fresh from the Sliver and Bite herb garden. Okay, we are good to go. We are going to drop in our meat to simmer just for a little bit. I want to make sure that it's cooked. And then we are ladling this into our bowl. And then we are putting in some of our onions, our bean shoots, our coriander, our mint, our spring onion, green onion, some sliced chili, and some lemon. And I'm going to squeeze a little bit over it and give this a taste on camera. Oh, it's got a nice bite at the back. That's awesome. Yes, there is a little difference because it doesn't have the depth of flavor because we didn't boil it for over 8 hours. But this is great. This is a great midweek meal. This is really, really nice. Recommend. Look at the ingredients and the method below, or head to sliverandbite.com.au. See you soon.